My cover story has worked. I am safely ensconced at the Vox station, assigned to the lowly Information Input and Retrieval Department. It seems a colony so certain of its absolute control over its subjects can be less than rigorous when it comes to security. I was able to easily widen out a space behind the walls of the main control room to establish my safe room, giving me unfettered access to the communication transfer conduits. I have hacked into their system downstream from the security protocols, so I am able to infiltrate their entire system with them being none the wiser. While I have little doubt as to the success of our mission, trepidation still gnaws at me, though I cannot say why. Perhaps it is simply the normal mission commencement jitters. I thought my duties complete. Information gathered, reports filed, preparations made. I'd even created a fictitious identity and work transfer to Horizon Point Station well ahead of schedule, in order to keep anyone from tracking my movements upon commencing the mission. All that was left was the waiting. Or so I thought. Then, troubling information came to light. I've seen the numbers. I've seen the equations. While I don't understand all of it, I understand enough to know it is the truth. And I am the only one in a position to act upon it, though it means the betrayal of my team and the duty I swore to uphold. But can I? I did it. They are all dead. And I am still alive. I had not expected this. I had prepared no alibi, and so felt assured my ruse would be discovered and I'd not have to carry this burden. But the complete gullibility of the Protectorate subjects cannot be underestimated, it seems. My threadbare excuse of my grievous wounds as pitchball injuries was accepted without question. I can only keep telling myself it had to be done. Something which becomes harder by the day as the rift anomaly grows in the sky. But it was all part of the plan. Wasn't it?
Pulverizing them suffice? No, I could liquefy them. Apply heat and congeal them into kibble no beast could resist. Oh, Ethel, darling, you're a genius. Approach with less haste next time, won't you? Copernicus may be tame, but he still doesn't take kindly to being startled. I am Ethel Tinsley, chimeric scientist. I'm responsible for taming this delightful raptidon here. He will protect our fair town from his feral brethren in the wilds. Theoretically. Officer Carr has been in a state waiting for me to train the raptidons to, maul on command. It's rather pressing, and alas, one scientist-turned-tamer can only do so much. One might say I'm perhaps a bit on edge. Folk here have grown weary, shall we say, with the war effort. And with avoiding Carr and the minister's would-be fisticuffs. If you two have spotted the chasm between them, I fear the Protectorate have already pinpointed the way with which to exploit it. I'm unused to the way things are done here, I suppose. The Protectorate leadership never behaved in such a manner. The fact is that those two never got along particularly well, even under the best of circumstances. One wishes to woo Protectorate subjects to our ranks. The other wishes to secure a decisive victory with weaponry and technology. As for which approach is best, I wish I knew. then her hands will be tied no longer. I suppose I can find relief in that. Some may think it too cruel to use Officer Carr's methods to strike the enemy while they are down. But I have come to believe there may only be one way to truly defeat an enemy such as the Protectorate. She believes this as well. Very well. I ought to focus more on my work than on social tensions anyhow. I work directly with Officer Carr and her soldiers to ensure, in theory, they'll be trusted to guard our most precious assets, including our leadership. For now, they deter encroachment from wild raptidons. It's most agreeable. Oh dear. I rather hoped that Copernicus rolled off the tongue a sight better than designation C0P3R. I suppose I'll ensure he responds to both in any case.
Keep 'em coming. I can do this all day. That's the third drone in as many days. Where are the Void damn things coming from? Not likely. I've been keeping my lamps, but thanks for the concern all the same.
Of course, we could have staunched the flow of drones by now if Officer Carr dispatched another patrol, as I requested, but no such luck.
Officer Carr says we've already committed too many units. She'll, quote, have me peeling Spectrum potatoes till my fillet.
So, instead of allocating necessary resources, she set up a bounty terminal. In short, it's an easy way to if you're keen on lending a hand, bounty terminals just... Carr doesn't trust me with that kind of work anymore. Not after my last performance review.
Splendid. Then you'll know how to disassemble them with utmost
Sure wish I was an expert at something. You know, stranger, you seem more than qualified to find that bounty terminal.
Finally find a way to get ahead, and this happens. Swear, I almost had it this time. Everything all lined up. Easy mark, guaranteed moneymaker, favorable terms. Look like you've had your share of troubles. Ever had the perfect opportunity just slip through your fingers? In Auntie's choice, high finance is life and death, friend. I had just the thing to get me a fast-track promotion to lower middle management. Now you seem like someone who knows a good deal and wouldn't be adverse to helping me out. It's like this. I agreed to meet with a business associate to finalize a deal, but the location got set for Spire Grove. Problem is, you been outside of Fairfield? The funicular to Spire Grove broke recently, so I got no way to... Why, the path there might be lousy with raptidons for all I know. It wasn't before, but mayhap they were just lulling me into a false sense of complacency so they can strike. Not particularly. Already have plenty. I can't imagine setting foot in Spire Grove, even though it might mean losing a champ. You see, my partner there unearthed an unexploited protectorate technology. Wouldn't go into details, but promised it'd revolutionize the daily life of Auntie's Choice citizens. Got want a bargain, none? Might suspicious, you ask me. Like maybe I ought to end this here conversation. I have a few bits I can offer you. Not much, but if it turns out a roaring success like it ought to, and I get a fat promotion, Splendid! Go parlay with Jackson Plum up at Spire Grove. He'll provide the agreed-upon schematics. Well, the broke-down funicular is due west of here. Dexterous-looking so-and-so like yourself could probably scarp her up. So close, but so far away. At least for me. Truth is, haven't the slightest. Edible spacesuits, N-ray specs, matter translocation. All right.
Don't fret. With these boots, I can fly!
Jackson! Jackson! Twitch your broken legs if you can hear me, Jackson! Oh, law. I can't believe he jumped that way.
Sir, I know this isn't the time, but are they gonna put us to the gallows for this?
What? No. That ain't how we operate in Auntie's Choice, Liza. We might be looking at a pretty fierce demotion for losing half our workforce and getting stuck up here, though.
Demotion to fertilizer?
No. Now cease your jawing. This ain't the time. Hey, you! You down there! Would you mind checking on our fellow? Might he have survived the fall?
I'm pleased not to be the only one wondering.
Not the only one. How did you get assigned to a biological commodities assessment? No, never mind. That's not important. Stranger, friend, would you perchance be willing to help us? We've been stuck atop this machine since Ida, one of our new Protectorate acquisitions, had her gray matter scrambled by the height, jumped down, and landed right in its gears. I can't fathom no sensible motive. She joined us shortly after Auntie liberated her with the freedom of meritocracy, and she seemed happy enough.
Were you not listening? She said she'd always be a loyal subject. It was part of the endless inculcation we endured in the Protectorate.
The notion that she'd sacrifice herself, even after seeing the vast possibilities in staying alive and climbing the corporate ladder, it's just impossible to cognize. There ain't no way off this platform besides jumping, and you've seen how that ends. But you being down there makes you uniquely qualified to help us. The reason Jackson tried using those plasma thruster boots was to gather a piece of machinery we'd spotted on a little table halfway up the spire.
It's a drive overloader. If we install it, we can push the platform's arm hard enough to... well, to grind old Ida out of the gears.
Though the power of that overloader will deluge the system and, well, overload the drive and burn it out all permanent-like. But...
So if you were to use them boots to bound up the spire and deliver the overloader to us, we'd avoid the tragic fate of our 2 former cohorts.
Exactly!
Oh, thank the Sovereign... thank you, stranger. You're by our prop of Brachythecium rutabulum. They're found in bandages and burn tinctures. If you don't have that drive overloader, ascending may be a waste.
that easy? That was some impressive climbing. Poor Jackson could have learned a thing or two from you. Starting with the right direction to jump, I suppose. Wonderful. Get us down, and I'll happily...
We've certainly found our way into a most harrowing circumstance, He hadn't been here terribly long, still he seemed like a friendly, kind sort. Please...
Oh, thank the law. I never thought of myself...
I mirror that sentiment, to be certain. In fact, Auntie will have to pay me triple if heights are to be involved. And isn't it grand to be in a system that allows...
I agree with Liza. I'm inclined to keep a few pace... Here's your reward for evacuating us with all our parts intact. I perhaps ain't... It was useful for identifying crops we'd missed in our harvest. But to be honest, I'd like a little...
Executive skill building continues. Well, at least for me. Can't speak for my inept colleagues. Today's task, leverage teamwork and leadership to navigate a risky landscape blindfolded.
Which you apparently interpreted as just shout at everyone.
It's called delegating. At least I participated, Cobb.
I told you, I got a bad scrumpox flare.
Of course, I served as leader of this activity. A thankless job. Being all over. Blunt force trauma. Not my fault. Tangled in all of directions.
Dora and Lumba flew up.
This exercise in an uncharted minefield. Someone will catch hell when I'm an important VP. Soon enough.
Oh, what's this? Non-protectorate personnel. State your purpose, outsider, or exit yon way you came. Well, that all sounds rather exciting, like something out of an Aetherwave serial, which I've watched only. Most in the Protectorate don't know what the Earth Directorate is, you know. So you travel freely. I'll forgo appealing to your sense of duty, as those outside the Protectorate lack such motivating principles. I presume you accept payment for services? Expect it's as dangerous a job as you make it. One as well-traveled as you appear, the rewards are plentiful and handsome. Rare items, ingredients, cosmetics. Many such baubles fall into my hands, most useless to my research. During recent troubles, unsavory elements removed certain items from my old office. Among them, a series which took considerable time to assemble. Oh, to the point then. A full set of Science Adventures Quarterly has been sold to various unknown parties. Once you have one of the 10 periodicals in hand, stay true, outsider.
you thought. Hey you! Get over here before you get yourself killed!
No, you ain't got what I need. And you can't come stumbling around here looking like prey. These raps ain't had a bite to eat since their pods dropped from the look of it. And a desperate rapt is a dangerous rapt. Mind yourself now. I don't know my life story to someone I ain't even properly acquainted with. What is it you're doing round here? Right. The streamlined architecture and artfully mauled bodies really do it for you, huh? I'm Inez Silung, Auntie's choice. Former combat medic in the Enhanced Soldier Division. Now, menial troubleshooter. Minister Milver Street of Fairfield sent me here to retrieve some information. Not my most exciting assignment, but suppose we can't expect much with the stalemate on this island. I'll admit I was eager for some good hunting around here. My arm, my graft, needs some bolstering. But if the raps here are as weak as this one, it won't help me none. If you had, you'd know. Unless you're accustomed to seeing folk roaming around with exposed muscle fibers or stunted extra limbs on their backs. Other than punch a hole in my armor, cause Huel at the saloon to yell in consternation, I'm considered a liability. My graft's all wrong. Most everyone else who got one passed or became permanently incapacitated. So everyone in Fairfield reckons my time will come soon too. But I'm still mostly upright. For now. I just know I can do more for Auntie and for the war. It's just this damn contract. Unless I can amend it so I... Weren't many of us grafted soldiers to begin with. To think I'm one of the lucky ones. No. Enhanced Soldier Division was the fancy public-facing name for... Bet they'd erase it from the financial... I only been able to treat my own ailments thanks to Doc Tinsley in Fairfield. She worked for the program for a time. She's a good one. If the graft were an imaginary boo-boo, I wouldn't be in this You looked at the fine print of an employment contract lately? It says any action taken by a worker that could result in impeded work not only would trying to fix my graft impede my work, but it's also financially unviable. Could pursue fixing it myself were I out of my contract, but if I attempted to end it, I'd have to waive all employment rights for the next year. That's a non-starter. All right. Suppose if you've been in my position and managed to do well for yourself, could be an option worth keeping on the table. If all else fails. Get the feel. Go on now. There's probably plenty of I got what I came for, so I reckon it's time to...
believe some of those Protectorate hull heads just couldn't see the benefit of self-betterment.
Yeah, let them simmer their selves.
Don't go into that cheap saloon if you got a lick of gumption. They got no tolerance for it. I've been gone a while. How'd it go? Tell me you got good news. Why, that's terrible. But you... What? Sovereign's finest potato corollary peeler? This was supposed to be a... Jackson, you idiot! Ah! It's a good thing he's dead, because if he wasn't, I'd kill him! There's no... God damn it! I'm never... This was supposed to be my easy path. Tell me, did you come across any other advanced Protectorate technology while you were there? Anything more, well, if I only had something, anything else to provide management myself. Well, here's all I can spare in regards to your compensation. Try not to... In the unlikely event things somehow pan out and I get that big promotion.
No imitations. The K lets you know it's authentic. Now, choose just any choice when you could choose Auntie's choice. Remember, Auntie knows best.
Does even the slightest scintilla of success so elude me? Is it my destiny to fail? I do not seem to compare unfavorably to others.
I see a huge opportunity for us in Fairfield. There's zero competition and plenty to drive people to drink.
Oh, this must be one of my copious direct reports. Rest assured, I'm making adequate progress in my manual labors. Time for another performance review already. Apologies, I'm still applying the required elbow grease to scour these surfaces, just like a novice facility sanitizer should. Many thanks for the validation. I don't suppose you can spread the word of my competency. This meritocratic society is still so foreign. The workplace skullduggery, the prioritizing of self over community, the excessively colorful nutrition. I fear I'm not cut out for this canid, eat canid lifestyle. Seems the only way to flourish is through general underhandedness and ruthless efficiency. Never picked up those skills in my 50 years as Fairfield's drone operator. Pity they didn't keep me on there. I was quite skilled at it. Well, you're right. I wanted change. Whole reason I left the Protectorate in the first place. No sense complaining about the means now.
Welcome to the Name-Pending Saloon, purveyor of spirits and stimuli. What'll it be, stranger? That is an ensuing step on my 19-point business plan. Trying to find a name that would convince patrons to spend their hard-earned bits here. Like to hear a few contenders? At present, my top favorites are 1. The Drunken Haggler, 2. Accessories, 3. Absinthe-Minded, 4. The Fair Shake. Now tell me, which would make you spend your hard-earned bits here? Well, that's what we'll call it then. I'll tell future business partners we did extensive outside testing. I can now check off step 18 of my business plan. Wait, have you already read it? Did you sneak in here whilst I was on break and peruse it in its entirety? Well, you must be some kind of intuitive business genius then. Hope you're not staying in town long. Why, sure. You'd be what, between them Protectorate defectors, finally able to speak their minds, Any particular topic you have in mind? Oh, Minister Milverstreet's blessed with the gift of gab. Swear he could sell bypass shunts to a Raptidon. Ain't one of them falsely magniloquent types, though. Sincere fella. Shares command of Fairfield with Acquisitions Officer Carr. She's blunt and murderous. Two traits Auntie's Choice highly prizes in a commander of corporate forces. To say they have differing approaches to leadership is like saying, gee, suns are hot, whilst being incinerated in a solar eruption. Vox Station's run by a brigadier by the name of Montelli. Sounds like he's as much a danger to his own troops. A real piece of work, even by Protectorate standards. Reportedly enamored of show trials and summary executions. Tell you one thing you can't avoid, the bridge. No other way around. We have a small contingent of troops bivouacked nearby. Forward Operating Base, they call it. You're asking me for the particulars of a high-level corporate acquisition. They merged. Rebranded. Auntie Cleo seems in charge now. Dunno. Do my best to steer clear of corporate intrigue. My pleasure. Got anything for me in return? Your Earth Directorate. Never figured to meet one of you all. Here I was hoping you'd have a good story for me in exchange, but oh well. Not pick your poison.
From the Office of Competitive Analysis and Artful Reconnoitering. This sounds important. Better pay heed. Threat assessors have adjusted their risk tables for the Arbiter Training Facility, jewel of the Protectorate's military portfolio, northeast of the landing pad near Broken Spire. Although only a skeleton crew remains, the facility...
People think I got ejected from the saloon because I'm 3 sheets to the wind.
Holler when you're ready for me, Doc. I'll be over here. Definitely not in excruciating pain.
Don't believe the rumors. Our rates of sepsis are lower than anywhere else on Eden.
Don't mean to sound unsociable, but you might not want to stand so close. The bleeding ain't contagious, but wouldn't mind conversating a bit, though. Anything to take my mind off the pain. Oh, it stings. I was on sentry duty. Bravely, I returned fire like it was a cereal. Bang, bang, bang. It was all going fine until the damn thing blasts me while I'm reloading. Mighty uncourteous, you ask me. Trooper Faulkner happened upon the scene just then. No idea where these drones are coming from, but Faulkner's been... As for the rest of these fine folk, they were attacked by Protectorate while defending the forward operate. Only one of the most lucrative posts a soldier could be assigned to. The FOB's our main line of defense. The only thing stopping the Protectorate from sending their legions over that... The man in charge, Commander Torres, is a legend. Rumor has it his troopers are relentless, fighting through wounds that would kill most. Playing it safe doesn't amount to much, but maybe you're right. It's all a moot point till I can get this arm of mine mended. Poor Doc Barnes is working. I suppose it could be worse. At least Command's not throwing us at that relay station. Can't imagine the casualty. I don't know. You some kind of doctor type? I hate to stifle your curiosity, but I'm not looking to become... don't sweat it, none. Auntie's Choice advocates for self-reliability anyway. No, I'll be paying him first. Anyway, thanks for stopping to chat.
You make a great lower manager.
I must ask you to
Consume
hold still.
in peace, and we won't have a problem.
My liver ain't the lily kind.
The bullet shattered your tibia and all but demolished your gastrocnemius muscle. Due to the risk of infection, I have to abscise your leg. There is good news, however. I recently enrolled in a course on advanced amputation techniques, so I'll be seeing a positive return on my investment sooner than expected. Don't be obscene. I have on hand a perfectly adequate tranquilizer.
Say, how sore are my pockets gonna be after all this, Doc? Don't suppose there's a discount for only taking...
I'm not running a charity. If you desire full treatment, you'll pay full cost. If that's a problem, seek compensation from your commanding officer. Well then, she should have thought about that before getting shot.
This is a mighty big decision, Doc. Can I have a moment to noodle on it?
I don't encourage delays, but very well. It'll take a few minutes for me to warm up the saw anyway. Sweet merciful law, as if I haven't enough to contend with than some would-be resurrectionist coming around. What's next? In case it isn't apparent, I'm having what might be called a day. A whole platoon. And then there's Erickson. Something happened with a drone. I don't know. You'd be better off speaking with him about it. Oh, good lad. But he's mistaken. Short of you skipping back in time and ordering the coagulant I need, I doubt anything can be done to accelerate the timetable for treating these soldiers. I am a doctor, not a magician. I cannot Now, was there anything else? Some. Most still tout the all. In truth, I expected more resistance given the sudden transition. But I'm not one to complain of a headache I don't have. I must say, I'm rather amazed. How did you manage to formulate coagulant with only a handful of ingredients? Well, in any case, I hate being in debt to anyone, so here, something for your trouble. It's your lucky day, Trooper. Our friend here has manufactured a coagulant that will raise your...
I'm still not sure.
What's that burning smell? Oh, good.
I'd say welcome back, but if you're here for the doc, hope you ain't in any kind of hurry. Wait's still on the long side of short. Much obliged. Oh, that feels night and day better already.
Blood in the talent pool around here with these. You ever find yourself with too much disposable income? I got plenty of ideas on how to
there? Huh. Guns after all. Most of these irons look pretty old.
Yeah, it's real sad how our trainees will have the armaments to defend us now. I swear, Kemp, sometimes I wonder about you. Anyway, thanks for your help, friend. We were nigh at our wits' end trying to get into that armory. Now we can stop speculating on what's inside and act and humble too. Well, we appreciate the assist.
Leave me be. I have no interest in dealing with the machinations of you dark marketers today.
Every time I think I'm having a bad day, I just tell myself, wait till tomorrow. It'll probably be nice.
What's all this talk I'm always hearing about middle and lower management?
Well, the middle managers assign all the hard work to...
Is everything supposed to be
Yes.
so sweet?
I'm simply not credulous enough to accept this is where I've ended up. Doing the work of at least... I'd welcome you, would-be consumer, but we are not a retail operation. Please visit the various consumer locations around Fairfield for all your purchasing needs. I was meant to have help, but they lacked the barest amount of gray matter it takes to break in my back trying to buttress all these vines on top of all my... So, is there anything else, or can I get back to work? Really? Feel you're entitled to that information, do you? It doesn't? I know a slew of folks missing pieces of themselves who disagree. All because it's quite the setup, ain't it? But the Protectorate, then again, they all only have one job, so... Really? Because all these plants were unknown inside Anti... Though I expect word any day that the big brains in my contract says I get 0.0003427% of net after development, testing, packaging, advertising, and distribution costs. So, you know, well, I've got a lot left to do, and...
You're back. Why? You read my terminal? How embarrassing. The compliant, not that I thought anyone had come snooping. I'd made careful arrangements. So, why are you so interested in my other work? You're not part of compliance. Huh. Assertive, ambitious, and aggressively, you know. I've been looking for some backfills with the kind of cleverness usually only found on the seedy lower decks of the... Wonderful. Your jib is exactly the kind of cut we could use right now. I'm part of Sub Rosa. We're a group of merchants, We're the best way to get things done in anti-space if you're looking for profit. Want to buy it, sell it, move it? We've got some... They were rubes, nitwits, dolts so lacking they had to be dealt with so we could all get back to work. So, long as your brain pan's filled with more than a half-dead sprat spinning on a rusty wheel, I absolutely... Wow, isn't that just wonderful? I had no suspicion when you walked through my door that you'd help And all we need you to do is access Quartermaster Cardos's terminal, and it's already been resold, so having it in her system could become problematic. Expunge it, and I get you some bits, and the friendship of Sub Rosa all over the system. It'll probably be nothing. She's just a sergeant, so if she catches you, about the worst she can do is a switch on the rest. Because we are the Black. Sub Rosa feeds that appetite to not just survive, but trust me, for both short-term benefits and long-term, and I'll be waiting.
This paradigm thingy people are always going on about. Does it really improve your life?
Too much Spacers Ale? Try Auntie's Choice.
Boy, take this terminal and trash it. That's it. I need a smoke. If you're about to blast me about fixing that void-forsaken terminal, it'll have to wait. I'm entitled to a break like anyone else. It's in my contract. I triple-checked. Sorry, I've had an accusation of laziness laid at my feet a time or two. I'm no loafer, mind you. Just happens I like to work in measurable gains, rather than busying myself for the sake of it. Right? You get it. I'm getting pressure from the folks up top to deploy these The drones are ready to launch. All that he's doing is fixing... Drones are only as dangerous as their programming. But it's a moot point anyway. These ones ain't gonna shift on their own anytime. I know it probably seems like we're up to our ducks in troops, but half of them are ex-Protectorate trainees who can't tell the business end of a rifle. We need... Been key mashing all day. Surprised my These Protectorate systems aren't like ours back home. Trip the wrong switch and you get locked. Have another smoke. Sometimes you gotta get away from the problem in order to solve the problem. That's what I'm doing. I hope. Guessing that means you're flat out of... Not that I need the help of some Protectorate townie, understand, but... Bet a fellow drone operator like him would have some insight into all this...
Protectorate folks must have been bored out of their skulls before we showed up. Now, mind you, don't track any outside mud on top of our inside mud as you head into the fort.
Gonna need a bigger storeroom for all these Let me guess. Gun keeps jamming, armor don't quite fit snug as you like. State your division and I'll get you outfitted, quick and proper, or your next provision's free. We ought to find you a new war bonnet first off. Just a little something to prevent more damage to your slivered upper story. I'm sure I have something here. As Chief Replenishment Officer, it's my privileged duty to furnish our brave troops with all of their wartime. Tell me what you need, and I'll do my ample best to supply you. Those hoople heads. First they botch their work. Well, I thank you for helping them out. What do you need this time? I'm sure. What do you need this time? Good eye. Though I'd say they're better than... If things had turned out differently, it might be someone else standing here. Well, I don't have the aptitude for flight, apparently. But this role suits me fine. I like the upward mobility, in the metaphorical business sense, I mean. What? I'd best go and take a quick... She looks all right. Mechanics must have already gotten to the issue. Wonder if that's why Artley was here the other day.
If you're not a go-getter, then go away.
Stop blaming the wind. Trainee Lindell, be so kind as to remind...
Guns are weapons, not...
And do we aim weapons at colleagues? Or at our own unprotected upper stories? Even in jest? Hint, we do not... I can assure you they are. Ah, the plan is testing. The soldiers before you are former Protectorate subjects. They are accustomed to being told what to do, when to do it, even how to think. A lifetime of habitual servitude is not broken, and I'm not one to idle in the path of it. There's just one problem. I don't know you. So, respectfully, I must ask, would a teacher must always believe in... Respectfully, Lindell!
Guns are weapons, not tools.
Not everyone's cut out for life in an anti-encampment. It's intense, but only 3 to attend, and we sleep in shifts.
You know, I'm really starting to feel hopeful about settling here in Fairfield.
Hello again. You get that inventory issue sorted? How grand. That officially mops up the last of the mess from the buffoons that came. And while this might be a tad fewer bits than you were hoping for, remember, you've also made allies that you'll just keep watching for paintings of a stylish yellow rose with a split black circle near the middle.
new corporate life is so confusing for us Protectorate folk. Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Sure, shoot.
Thank you.
Are you gonna ask your question?
I did. When I asked if I could ask a question, that was my question. We don't ask too many questions in Protectorate, so it helps.
Ask them defectors if they miss anything about Protectorate life.
10 bits they said community.
Yep. Community.
Everything copacetic, don't it?
Where? Schultz! Anyone got lamps on Schultz? Anyone? Did I not make clear our orders to hold the line here
I'm afraid there's more. Bad news, Commander. She also took...
Would that he'd done her more good. Seems Calamity has claimed 2 good soldiers today. You there. I don't normally sanction nameless passers-by giving ear to my private discourse. You have some brass sauntering into my base and then acting coy about your... Whatever your purpose, I feel a contractual obligation to warn you against setting a heel past this base. If you go any further, you go... No Antes forces are permitted beyond the forward position upon pain of disemployment and possible litigation. Our orders are to sit and mind the store for as long as need be. Foremost, I'd advise seeking a stealthier means of crossing the bridge. A direct approach is like our initial reconnaissance of the bridge indicated a breach in the western wall that could get you in schematics we managed to acquire. Also list an access tunnel on the eastern wall, but be wary of mines between here and there. The wire is full of unexploded ordnance. First Officer Schultz's decision to enter the minefield was not... Schultz was a good soldier. Admirable sense of duty. Less than by steadfastly holding the line here, we forestall any retribution the Protectorate would seek to inflict upon Fairfield. And we will continue, said Watch, until Calamity digs its claws in deeper. Thank you for notifying me of their demise. I'll send a car for replacements, and pray we do. I'd thank you to affix some ballast to that name when you speak. Scrabbles has been integral to this unit's success for years. Outside, Schultz obviously knew the risks and hoped he'd protect her through the minefield. Alas, even Scrabble. I'll pardon your skepticism given your lack of acquaintance, and say only this. Ask not what Scrabbles achieves for us. Before you depart, a final word. Stay out of the minefield if you value your limbs. Though I've cogitated on the matter at some length, I lack answers. Only those breathing the rarefied air of the upper rungs could say for sure. Mystifying as the decision is, by steadfastly holding the line here, we force... Before you depart...
We're closed. Did you not hear me? This place is closed. No learning today about how everything happens according to the... Why are you asking? Who are you? An old Do you know what happened to her that caused her such anguish it drove her to her present course of action? By the architect. I had no idea. I wish I haven't seen her since before the corporatists invaded the island. Maybe none of this would have happened had I not introduced her to Victor. How did... Victor's an Order archivist. We were all friends for... That's when things became... She kept getting angrier with the Order the more she worked with Victor and her other contacts. On top of everything else, it became... Among other things. For some reason, she was but you know how it works. It was somehow miraculously saved at the would have talked to a Crabble about it if there was no one else to listen. That, and the invasion itself. She was so agitated when I first met her. Must have been 7. After we became friends, she began to change. Still bothered her from time to time, but I thought it mostly behind her. No. But it had to be someone's fault, right? The Protectorate couldn't possibly have... We became friends. For some reason, she interceded on my behalf with an Arbiter. And it's difficult to... She said, some days I wish I'd never listened to her at all. I did try after the corporatists invaded Paradise Island and took over Fairfield. They single-it. No. Nearest I could surmise, she'd left just prior to the fall of Fair. She said it had some meaning from her previous life. What do you mean? It was where she worked. I know I've no right to ask this of you, but... when you find her, please, remind her of who she used to be. I understand.
told him to jump in a rift, do you? He couldn't be that thorough. I mean, it is Jerry.
I see you haven't gone and blown yourself up yet. I'll be spaced. Scrabbles! Scrabbles was originally a gift from my daughter. He fought with us during the... He's also packed with some of the finest grade stimulants this side of legal. Here, for your trouble. Livener like that comes in handy when you're in a pinch. Seems everyone's scoring big today. While we appreciate you returning Scrabbles, you'll not provoke me into a course of unwise action if that's your aim. I will take action when action is...
This stretch runs between Fairfield and the Eastern Forward Operating Base. North of here is an old abandoned chapel.
Careful, friend. Reckon there might...
Careful of friendly fire if you head down past the farm. Last time we wandered past, they opened fire on us. A real code 472. 472 means they're gonna fill anything that moves full of holes.
Scout, report.
Yes, sir. Looks like the repair center is still out of order, sir.
Excellent. At ease, Scout.
Yes, you. I am trapped inside the research lab at the former site of the Eden's Bounty Act.
Glad to hear that they haven't managed to repair it, even if Command has temporarily put the actual fighting. No.
Who goes there? By orders of Marshal Donaldson, no one... What's your business here?
Now you've done it. Slowing down a ranking Protectorate official is worth 10, 20 demerits if you're lucky.
All right, let's not lose... Marshal Donaldson likes to greet new arrivals personally. We'll let him... Oh, and fair warning, watch out for Zeranium gas. We sprung a leak. Nothing too bad. Aside, one more thing. Don't cause any trouble around these parts.
Did the authorities send you? Did my torrent of messages finally... What a relief. In here I thought myself dismissed as a loon. Good. Then it's not... You must have spied those nefarious Crabbles. No one at the facility believes me, but I've seen it with my own eyes. Crabble numbers have swelled as they gather to defy us. A consortium, nay, an army. Oh, you're right. I could be a secret Crabbles of the Bane of Arcadia. Strong, intelligent, and superior to us in every way. What I need is for more people to recognize the threat at our doorstep. Invasion appears exceedingly... Heed my warning, stranger. Beware.
To the Vox relay station.
But Marshal, we must adhere to decontamination procedures.
Oh, unfamiliar clientele. Name's Hazel. I'm sort of the acting quartermaster around these parts. You need any supplies? Talk to my friend the quartermech here. Passed during the attack. Got his face melted. Excuse the mess, by the way. Anti-gay. The old wardens paid the price. Where their courage faltered, a little mental refreshment should do just the trick. That's what I always say. Now what'll it be? Aw, I really need someone else to test this thing. Tell you what, If you give it a go and have any trouble, I'll be happy to get you sorted.
Greetings. State your business. All wares.
Sorry, it tends to take things too literal.
Lull detected. Conversational status uncomfortable.
Does that one compute, Big?
Affirmative. Initiated.
All right, I admit it. While he's under construction, come to me for any supply. Glad to. See you soon, I hope.
I have seen my friends and my family.
Give me a sec. Almost done with this work list. Another sealant failure? Amplifier requisition? I'm afraid so. And the Marshal is under a lot of pressure to deliver automechs to the... If even a single automech steps out of line, it will be the end of me. Zeranium-corrupted automechs open fire on Protectorate soldiers, and I end up in the darkest bowels of mental refreshment. No, the Marshal is a good man, but he values speed while I value accuracy. Neither of us is... You want to... She'll only be able to sell you our surplus.
This unit's current work task takes priority over conversation.
Outsider?
Farewell.
Oh, yes, I adore interruptions. I was just saying, what's best for stoking the spark of. Now, what is it you want? Oh, we'll get. Now, tell me, are you familiar with Zeranium gas? I could speak at length about Zeranium's many So, what am I endeavoring to create? A protective device that shields its wearer from Zeranium's remarkably unsavory effects, as well as other quite splendidly, if I do say so myself. Alas, while I'm occupied with inventing this shield gadget, I also. Good. Wonderful. Now here, you'll need this apparatus. It's for collecting stray Zeranium effluvium. Gas, that is. My supply is running low from all the. Merely activate the device once it's inside a Zeranium cloud, the one around the main hangar specifically. Try to avoid any fields of dense Zeranium, or death is all but assured. Any questions? Normally, yes, but on the off chance that ideally the resulting shielding will protect against any gas, but since it's a. Well, of course, if you suffer prolonged exposure, I believe that Oh, so exhilarating.
Outer chassis sealant test number 14 is confirmed a failure. Zeranium exposure rate appears to be unaffected. Test model displayed standard overload-induced paralysis, then became atypically aggressive. Forced to terminate test model.
What did I tell you? Perfectly safe. Either that, or should you suffer from any lingering symptoms of contempt. Now, on to business. The device already generates a field exactly as specified, albeit on what's needed now is something to help extend and shape the field around the user. Capital deduction! Where you'll be pleased to learn there's one right here at the facility, in the Dragoon that's patrolling just outside. Dragoon, you lovable dunce. And no, banish the. Unfortunately for me, our chief mechanist, Woodrow, wasn't enthusiastic, so you may have trouble getting your hands on the catalytic amplifier. Dragoons are a mainstay of our military. The design is. You must have seen the large automech patrolling the interior grounds. That is the Dragoon. I'm sure he's just being cautious. Should Auntie's choice, no doubt he also seeks to retain an unspoiled automech. Good. Failing that, one last thing. The Dragoon must not be harmed. Not only would the amplifier likely. Well.
If you need something, kindly make it quick. Please understand. The original staff of this facility were rounded up. Why should I follow their example by reducing our sole working Dragoon to a pile of unpatriotic crap? I can't. Be gone already. Yes? I thought I cannot abide any effort. If you're really so desperate, you can track down our second Dragoon. Damn thing, I'd have sent someone to retrieve it myself, but Dragoons are stubborn when their instructions are unclear. First, that would undoubtedly destroy the catalytic amplifier. Second, you do that. Good hunting.
Well, any closer to obtaining the catalytic amplif— Oh, superb! I'm almost tempted to ask, with this gadget, you'll be shielded against more than Zeranium, you know. Now, report to Marshal Donaldson, if you please. He's rather impatient to end this crisis so he can turn his focus back to the— You do that.
Your symptoms are fairly... If you'd indulge me, I have a few questions I'd like to ask. For medical posterity. First question, can you describe the conditions in which you were exposed to the Zeranium? It's a wonder you're still upright. The emanations outside that building are thick enough to be... I'd suggest paying a call to our visiting scientist next door. Purportedly, she's All right. For instance, do your bones seem noticeably softer somehow? Well, good for you. As a token of my appreciation, allow me to There. That should do it. Do stop back in if you suffer additional exposure. I would love...
What brings you to this fine establishment?
Caught a piece of shrapnel during the attack. What about you?
Zeranium poisoning. Only a mild case, but the doctors are withholding treatment. This is how I feel.
Prudence dictates we cherish all we have and defend it. outsider.
Ah, my erstwhile assistant returns. Until a...
What is it? I'm a little busy. Am-
Too much Spacer's Ale? Try Auntie's Choice Pep Pills. Good for what ails you.
Ah, hell. I've stood this post so many times I could do it in my sleep.
Mind you don't let the bosses upstairs.
These riffs got me awful perturbed. Ain't reality hard enough without some nerve-wracking phenomenon?
Been working at that spot of business we discussed? Loose your words. I'm listening. Scouts reported a plume of smoke thick and wide billowing from the facility. Sure didn't seem to be mechanical exhaust. Got more to report? Just that Milver Street requested her presence for some mission. Trooper Sealong was one of my best enhanced soldiers, but never took to her grafts. Been uncertain what I could rely on her for. Trooper Sealong ain't a fragile wallflower. She's a soldier. And even at, she's got a contract. And she ain't so far gone we can't make use of her. But the fact is, now, let's talk helping you. There's a bridge gating entry to the northern part of the island. There's an alternate path, but it's blocked by Zeranium. I'll order my troops at the forward operating base to aid you, and you'll punch through together. From there, your target's the Skycutter Tower. Seems it was recently reactivated, and by our engineers' metrics, might be useful in overloading the Vox's defenses. Wouldn't trust the Protectorate's over-engineered perfection to cook a Spratwurst. If by some miracle your contraption doesn't turn you inside out, I'd give you a much quieter route. Once you pass to the northern end of the island and enter the Skycutter, you'll need to step light, though. There's no Protectorate gallivanting near the tower, which, like as any, means something blood...
Commander, there is a 98.7% ammunition can be purchased at vending machines. Awaiting order. How may this unit assist you, Commander? Present. The Valor unit is the exclusive property of the Earth Directorate and is not intended for civilian or commercial use. Attempting to ride this unit in order to replicate the experience of flight is strongly discouraged. This unit can support up to one. Do you have any other queries, Commander?
Void me if I understand any of this. DeVries she wasn't a damn scientist. She said it herself. She didn't understand all of it, the math. When it results in a bunch of innocent folk getting... How can you be so even-tempered about it? Damn it! DeVries may have saved me on Triangulum, but I wasn't the only one. Y'all thought she was the pinnacle of what an agent should be. Tough. It's embarrassing now. Figure my own career, and then she betrayed us. Tried telling myself it was an accident, but now we've got the cold, hard proof it wasn't. Look, ain't cynical if it turns out true. DeVries was willing. She always struck me as so pragmatic, real sensible-like. Never figured she'd go all in on predictions from a bunch of monks. Maybe. I don't take issue, but when those beliefs start to require hurting others, even killing them, that's worth questioning their virtue. If only DeVries is shit. Whatever her plan, reckon he's got...
Sometimes I get the feeling we're not welcome here. Like the Protectorate folks resent us liberating them.
They know this invasion ain't first. Whoever fixes this rift problem is definitely getting a hull-size suite with an Elysian view in heaven. My commanding manager gave me great advice. If you got
Marginal improvements. You've returned. I don't suppose you're here for instruction yourself. Is this about the trainees again? I'm not aware of any invasion. You and Traineeland, I understand it must look like violence. But listen to any of our ex-Protectorate colleagues speak. Thank you. Please don't think...
Aside from the state...
You've returned. I don't suppose you're...
I don't much mind sharing my rack. Sleeping in ships sure beats bunking down in the mud. I do have my very own pillowcase. Negotiated.
Seems nowhere on Paradise Island's going untouched by this war.
Blah, blah. Taking care of citizens is developing possible customers. Come on here yourself. Yeah, that subject laughed at the first time you tried talking. Again, look for this Protectorate idiot. Why we bother? Sure should. It's the crunch. That scrunch. The one that makes it a brunch. I'll feed you purple berry crunch if they love you a bunch. What? Oh, I'm just enjoying some purple berry crunch before school. What? I swear I was just eating them. I'm a soldier. Oh, no. They ambushed us. They came out of nowhere. They were dead. They're all... The first shot went into Doherty's mask. The back of his head was just gone. There was so much blood gushing, it filled his boots long before he finally keeled over. Contact headquarters. No, our comm gear was hit. But if we're separated with... Oh, the Protectorate scum took all our weapons. How am I supposed to get back? The Raptidons will rip me to pieces. What? Of course. I hate to ask, but any chance you got a grenade I can borrow? Even if I miss, the noise should scare off any Raptidons. I can handle it. I'll be far safer with it than without. I can't fight a Raptidon unarmed. Just gotta get to Fairfield. Just gotta get to Fairfield. Just gotta get... Oh, what was that? Is someone out there? Stand back, I'm warning you. I got a grenade. All I gotta do is pull this pin and... Uh-oh.
Unusual levels of Zeranium detected ahead. Caution is advised. As indicated.
betters think for you. Prisoner 34989-393A, there is no place for you in the paradigm. You are hereby sentenced to death for the crime of desertion and opposing the lawful authority of the Protectorate.
No! Wait, I beg of you! I was just afraid of Montelli! He's taken leave of his mental faculties! His way is no longer that of the Sovereign! Why can't you see that?
Quiet, traitor.
Registering a decrease in air quality due to decomposing protectorate bodies. Shallow breaths are... breaths are recommended.
Oh, these damned bodies. Why can't we just bury the lot of them? Theoretically, it shall take me 4 hours to hang 8 bodies. But Montelli killed 6 more sovereigns. Mercy. I fear hanging all these corpses. Why would I do that? And be mindful, if you haven't your transfer orders, I don't have time to waste going idly back and forth. You are correct. If I were to let you in, remember that you are approaching a restricted estate. I politely request you cease defiling the corpses of our fallen brethren.
Check out that hole, Commander. Might be we can find ourselves a way in that avoids all the...
Quick once over. Back to it.
Seems suspect to me.
Ah, the maintenance room. Now we're talking. This must be where they manage their automechs.
Brigadier Montelli, are you writing a poem? I thought I heard you reciting poetry. It was most evocative, with rich metaphors and clever wordplay.
Oh, thanks. Just a little something I want read at my funeral. We'll get funerals, right? Can't go wrong following a brigadier's orders. Can we?
Of course not. Unless he executes us as traitors. Which would mean we are. So, in that case, no funeral.
Thanks. I feel much better.
Fire as unfriendly. Confronting threat.
I hope your loins are girded and your pearls pre-clutched. No telling what sinister deeds DeVries got up to in here.
Move me.
Putting traitors on display like that's one way to send a message. Can't be too good for morale, though.
This cannot be happening. Not again. Come, quickly. We must all bear witness.
Technicians Acna and Gastrell, you stand accused of manufacturing a fatal flaw in one of our valued dragoons. Have you any last words to express your shame?
That dragoon was already defective. Oh, we were only rebuilding the logic assembly so that...
At last, the truth alights. I hope this belated confession unburdens your conscience, though it will do nothing to commute your sentence. On the charges of sabotage and treason most contemptible, I find you both guilty.
No. No, please!
This is all a misunderstanding. We're loyal.
More loyal subjects executed. And valued technicians no less. Wait, I recognize you. From Horizon Point.
You got security called on you outside the Skip Labs?
You must have been the cause of everything that happened that day. And to think I could have stopped you. Perhaps I would have, if I'd not been so vexed over mere demerits. Now I will be forced to slay you in a fashion undesirable to us both, and hope I can explain your unlawful ingress to Montelli. Any punishment handed down to me will be even more. I hope you're watching, Montelli.
Engaging hostile. Agents, prepare for combat.
Did you hear Montelli block the thrusters? But if the box relay launches, we won't be able to change its trajectory. It could land on one of our towers.
Entering a conversational state. This unit is concerned for the commander's well-being. Ready to assist.
Guns cocked and loaded. Just give the signal.
Somebody's resilient.
Sequencing attack strategies.
living to follow. Continuing inspection. Oh, you're out there. Better take a guess.
Commencing related
Serve the song.
Let me know when you needed a stretch.
Resuming hostilities.
appears our good brigadier is being guided by someone else's hand. You wager that influence is what pushed him over the edge?
What now? Ah, an intruder. Of course. I was warned the Paradigm would test me, and here you have arrived. Yes. Dispatching you may yet grant me the opportunity to show my unimpeachable quality.
Hostile subject may be suffering an acute case of megalomania.
Seen this before. All that pressure from trying to live perfect? Some subjects pop a lid. We should mind what we say, unless we want this conversation to be real short.
Come then, infiltrator, test me. Perform your part in this grand drama, but be forewarned. I am not easily made prey. Play the fop all you like, invader, but if it's pity you seek to draw from me, you'll find my well runneth rather dry. Tell me, does it ease your conscience to imagine me as some foaming mongrel? Montelli's turned cruel. Montelli's lost his wits. Montelli's going to string us all up and watch our skeletons dance. So much breath wasted. Who?
Can't hazard a guess as to presentation nowadays, but DeVries used to favor short jackets and crop their hair to near shoulder length?
That name and description mean nothing to me, and I'm beginning to
reckon this line of inquiry's a dead end, Commander. He's obvious.
I'm weary of this pointless palaver. Do you not yearn for action? I'm killing traitors. My methods may seem callous, but a swift response to treason is necessary to prevent this crisis from worsening. Auntie's choice, bah! The invaders are vacuous opportunists dead from the collar up. They would not have found purchase here if not for the festering rot already in our soil. You've truly no cogs turning behind your lamps, have you? Very well. Allow me to be blunt. Our great protectorate has lost. If only the sovereign heeded his consul's wisdom, he could restore the protectorate's honor, instead of shaming his forebears by leaving such a grave task to others, like myself. Buckled? No. I was but now we have bandied enough words. Your time has come, infiltrator. Any final sentiment you wish to impart to the Aether? So, for crimes against our...
You lot couldn't hit the wrong side of a freighter.
control room. The breeze must have left some evidence behind. Let's poke around.
I don't know who you are or how you accessed my private terminal, but it won't do for prying eyes to have evidence of my activities. I've triggered the Vox Relay failsafe ejection routine. But worry not. After launching, the station will take several minutes to achieve its pre-programmed self-destruct altitude, so you'll have plenty of time to enjoy the ride before your death.
Now we know why Montelli locked the engines. He planned to crash the Vox into Fairfield. Maybe we can do something to change the trajectory of the control tower. You gotta try, right?
Pretty sure that shaking's a bad sign. Cutting it close here.
sure that shaking's a bad sign. Cutting it close here.
Nature made apples, but Auntie Fizzos made them better. With Auntie Cleo's patented hot
I've
apple
been
cider.
bartering with defectors. Traded one forced rocket for... for a whole tin of prestige force flow. Straight up.
I ain't even close to hitting rock.
Engaging combat. Entering a commander's vital stats have reached an alarming low.
I'd heard tale of those war-bred monstrosities, but this facility is overrun. We must pull back. Return with no less than a support battery.
Wardens do not retreat, nor take any ignoble action. I shall excuse your cowardice by way of shock. Whether we are destined to succeed or die, we shall do what is required of us. We will not falter. Marchand, make a duplicate of our field recording, in the event we don't survive.
Enthusiastically neutralizing unfriendlies. Protocols ready.
Gunfire has ceased. Is there any way Ames and Marchand could have...
I'm sorry, LaRue. They died in the service of the Protectorate. Stop. Breathe.
Hostile route to
Give the order, and I'll take care of him, Commander.
Agents are encouraged to exercise caution.
That should be here soon. Damn it! Where's not the bad luck? We've had none at all. Enough wraps for me, thanks. I'd like to have a word with whoever's in charge of maintenance around here, right after we deal with these rats.
has arrived, and the threat of imminent death has subsided.
Purple Berry Crunch. Accept no imitations. The K lets you know it's authentic.
I can't recall seeing any particular types ever run a business on each other.
We all had our ground station glassed off, but I just happen to know that it's... I'd be willing to share this tidbit if we can make a deal. Wait, did I just tell you the tidbit? Oh, boy, damn it! All eyes were on that Protectorate station when it launched off-world. It would have made...
Take care in the northern regions of the island. Fewer reports from scouts. Loose your words. I'm listening. Competence recognizes competence. Good work. Let me spin you a yarn. One of my elite regiments ceased replying to him. Yesterday, the Protectorate launched the regiment. Calculating bastards, the Protectorate. Would admire their efficacy if it weren't taking so many of my best and bright. Ask a loaded question, get a loaded answer. You want diluted, pains me to admit such, but for all our losses, we've minimal gains to show. It's all these half measures. Milver Street saw things my way, Paradise Island would be ours by mess. Man doesn't seem to understand there's an... Try too early, you got set. And if there's one thing I despise worse than our foes, it's the poor use of resources.